Okay, so what we have now is a typical winter loadout, 4-season loadout. And as you can see, everything still fits the same and goes on the same. I'll show you some of the changes I've made, but starting at the bottom of the pack, we have my sleeping bag. I have a 30-degree sleeping bag. This is various soft odds and ends, like I have my spear segmented pad extender in here, my pillow, an extra long john top. Next up the column is my cook kit. It's got everything I need in my cook kit. Hardware only, no food, just the cook kit and fuel and everything. This next area here is, and I didn't put this in a stuff sack. This is normally a 12-liter or a 10 or a 12-liter stuff sack. It's pretty big, but it carries my vest, an extra overcoat, light jacket overcoat, a wind shell, the long john tops and bottoms, my winter socks, basically the extra clothing required for winter use, for winter hiking or hunting. Here are my pads. Inside here is a Z-Lite with 4 wings to go inside the segmented pad extender to extend my temperature range. And then of course on top, not shown, would be my food bag. Would go right there. All of my ramen noodles and instant mashed potatoes and bouillon and all that kind of stuff would go in there. One thing that I've changed is on my winter loadout, I moved my hammock and tarp off of the terminal, off of the back panel and onto the belt. And it's not ease of use or anything like that. It's just that because the Molly MacPack has such a diverse way of arranging your load, it's more comfortable for me to put some of this weight directly on the belt and get it off of my back. So what I've done is inside here is my JRB, Jacks Are Better 10x11 tarp, along with the stakes and the toggles and everything else. And there's a little bit of room left in here if I wanted to shove something in there, like a set of I have a set of possum fur gloves that I could put in there. On the other side of the belt, I have another 4-liter pouch that has my hammock in it down here in the bottom, and in the top is my first aid kit, my Trek-Lite first aid kit. And it's a pretty heavy duty first aid kit, made for like 3 people, 2 to 3 people. I bought the Trek-Lite and then I took stuff out and added stuff in that I wanted, but it's in here. And of course it's a pretty big first aid kit because I'm prone to accidents, and being a bow hunter, we're around sharp pointy things a lot, so we need that. The water bottle holder here, so between the load on the belt, between the back panel and the 4-liter pouch is a water bottle. Like I said, I treat, I don't filter, so this would be my treatment bottle going on. My treatment would be going on here. Coming around to the front, I want to show you this. This pag, let's see if I can get in here. Okay, one thing I want to show you before we move to the front panel is you can see that this stuff sack is what we call second tier. This being the first tier, it's right up against the back panel, and this would be your second tier. To do this, all you have to do is, you can see in there, there's another cinch strap that goes to the back panel, wraps around one of the PALS webbings, comes back up, goes all the way out and around the pack here. So adding a second tier of load is pretty easy. And my second tier, my first tier is always my heavy stuff, cook kit with liquid fuel, sleeping bag, all that stuff. I try to keep it low and against the back panel. So here I would have clothing, winter clothing, which is kind of heavy but not real heavy. It's second tier. And then of course, a good second tier also would be your padding. If you use closed-cell padding or Evasoap pads or whatever it is, would be a good second tier. like I said, if I had the hammocks and the tarps on this back panel, I would be out of back panel space already. So my padding would be second tier, my winter clothing would be, or my extra, spear segmented pad extender and stuff like that would be second tier. Lightweight stuff that's not going to put a whole lot of force drawing me backwards. So we flip around the front here, the front panel, and I've got the Canteen Pouch, which would carry my map, snacks, my compass would go in here. Of course, it would be latched on so that I wouldn't lose it. If I had a cell phone and wanted to have it accessible, it could go in these small pouches here. Also, inside this small pouch on this side, I keep, it's not in there, but I keep a small fire starting kit. If I'm in a backcountry, Davy Crockett National Forest here in Texas or somewhere in Colorado, it's sometimes it's just as easy, especially during the dry season, to start a small, hat-sized fire to boil water when I take a break for tea or coffee or even some warm Gatorade if that's what I need to do. Instead of having to unpack the stove kit and use liquid fuel, sometimes I'll just start a small fire, make a cup of coffee, take a nap or whatever. So I keep my fire starting kit there. I keep everything in this pouch. That way when I reconfigure it for belt only use when I'm hunting, all I have to do is take this pouch off and put it on the belt, and everything that I have for navigation is already in the pouch. Again, this is just a small MO.L.E pouch that I keep my point and shoot camera in. Here's my primary water bottle holder. Water bottle goes in here. This is the one I drink when I'm on the move. And if you use, again, concealed carry, then you can put your concealed carry pouch or whatever you're using here on this side, because this is going to be up against your body. One thing is, I pick up this little pouch at a store here in town called Banana Bay, and it's just a small dump pouch, but this fits my GPS perfectly. And I wear it on the shoulder strap. It's not a MO.L.E attachment or a PALS attachment, it just uses Velcro tabs, but because the way Mac builds the shoulder straps, you have a PALS attachment, kind of a PALS attachment system, not really, it's just a daisy chain basically. But you can put stuff like this on here, whistles, clips, carabiners. I thought I had a carabiner on one of them. Yeah, you can see on this shoulder strap where I have just a carabiner clipped through there for, I don't know what, but whatever. All that stuff can go on here, is the point. So I'm going to reconfigure the camera, and I'm going to put it on, show you how it carries and what I use it for. One more thing is, when in the backcountry, no matter when I'm in the backcountry, especially during the winter, I always take a big knife. This ain't a big knife. It's a Bussy satin jack. It's got a 6-inch blade on it. But where my Mora can't handle the bigger wood, if I have to baton wood or really use something as a pry bar, this takes over. And two things is, you can buy a MO.L.E adapter. Essie sells them, formerly Rack Cutlery, and you can adapt it to this so that it'll attach right to the PALS array, whether on the front or on the belt or on the back or whatever. It can be reconfigured to use on a drop leg system if you want to use something like that. But primarily what I do with it is I will just take the knife, and I'll find a likely spot in here, and you can just shove it in here. Of course, that's not in very good, but you can just shove it in between the stuff sacks, or you can unclip it, the belt clip, and run that through, run the cinch strap through there, close it, and then cinch it down, while it's in between the stuff sacks, and then it'll never fall out if you're worried about it falling out. Although I have to say, I've had this thing shoved in just between the stuff sacks and never lost it. It's always been there when I needed it. But if you need it for quick deployment, which I don't know for what, but if you did, there are options for having a M.O.L.L.E type system or a P.A.L.S type system that'll attach to, for example, the front of the belt here. You could attach it low like this, or you could attach it high like that. Either way, it won't go on as it is with this. This is a tech lock. It won't fit on here like this, but it'd be very easy to use. Even malice clips to make an adapter to fit on here, or buy the M.O.L.L.E attachment gizmo from SE Knives. Randall's Adventure Training is that website. So I'm going to reconfigure and show you how it is when we wear it.